How's it going, Shy?
Yeah, it's not bad. Tell me about your vacation.
Oh, it was awesome. I was in Mexico
Mm-hmm.
for just under a week. We were out there celebrating one of my homies' birthdays. It was like he's one of the dudes I went to high school with, so it like unofficially became a collective birthday. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I was there for two reasons. One, is my boy Mark. I genuinely like love the dude. He's one of the homies. And two, this is Gabby loves like these type of environments, right? Like, warm places and stuff like that. This is like, so you gotta understand what this sounded like to me, right? Like, when you tell me like, yo, let's go to like a warm place, like to me, it sounds like, yo, you know how like we've evolved to never need to be there again. Um, let's like we got air conditioning now. Like we could look at the warm place from inside, you know?
Mm-hmm.
There's movies, like or like if that's what you do for a living, maybe you take pictures of hot places. That's cool, I don't know what that job like it is, but there's people like that, someone's got
Okay.
the water's clear so we could drink it inside. Uh but outside of those reasons, I don't see why we would go to places that are hot uh just cuz. Like I don't get that at all. Like that blows my mind that we as a society still go to hot places because they're hot. Like the second I got out the plane, I was uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't because they did something wrong. The wrong thing they did is that they were still living there as a country. Like, you shouldn't be outside in this place. It's too hot. So uncomfortably warm, you
Right.
know? But it makes my friends happy. They wanted to be at the beach and the pool, which again just further proves that I'm right. Like these are just places that torture you, but they say no, jump in the water when it's unbearable,
Mm-hmm.
and then come back out when you need to live life. Uh,
Right.
but yeah, I did. I pretended to enjoy that for a week. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
the evening festivities were great. Gabby knows me well. We had our group was like 15 people. We had rooms on opposite sides of the resort. So some people were by the beach side, some were by the adult pool side. I was by the adult pool, so I could like walk out my back room and within 20 feet be at the bar for the adult pool, but walk right back into my room. So like half the team was like at the pool, and I'd be like, "Yo, that's crazy, right?" And I'd be inside watching YouTube videos.
Uh-huh.
Um, but the evenings was popping. It cools down a lot. A lot of
Right.
feral dogs on these resorts. For
Mm-hmm.
some reason, we celebrated July 4th out there. Found out that in a Mexican resort, they spend the whole day celebrating any holiday. They celebrated July 4th in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
They don't understand Americans at all. There was a July 4th alligator in the parade that they threw around the resort. I didn't
Wait,
understand.
what?
I
Hold
asked
on. Hold
questions.
on. This is where I stop you. There's a Okay, so when you say a July 4th alligator,
Yeah.
was he done up like Uncle Sam or
So there's two. There was a living alligator that like he's like the thing of the event. Like he's one of the attractions for the day. They bring him in. He's not like a living alligator.
Mhm.
And then there's the guy that dresses up as an alligator because they had like two different kind of parades that go through the resort and they do
Mhm.
dances throughout the day. So like they had somebody dressed as a Statue of Liberty, somebody dressed as like kind of like Uncle Sam, but they were women. And
Mhm.
then they had a dude in an alligator costume with a USA Uncle Sam hat on. And I didn't understand. I never knew that we were known for alligators in Mexico, but it's a thing apparently. At least in this one resort. Like maybe this one resort owner is racist, or the Floridian alligator thing is far more prevalent than I've ever known. But yeah, we had an American USA Pride July 4th parade, and the third most significant portion of that was the alligator celebration. But yeah, it took place. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of good times with my people. I had a lot of margaritas, frozen, a lot of pina
Sure.
coladas.
Mhm.
And this guy Oscar would make an Oscar special that I still don't know what was in it, but it glowed. That
Oh,
was fun to drink. Yeah, it was
okay.
it was like it looked like the outside of a Pepto Bismol bottle, but like neon. Like kind
So
of
like
like
a bright pink.
yeah, it was interesting. Like um the bottom was like a pinkish, and then the top would be like a greenish.
Okay.
Yeah, and it glowed. Like it was weird, but it was good.
Like a fluorescent-y, like, glow?
Like you know what I'm thinking of? Like it reminded me of the bad guy in Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Like that. The
A
top would glow.
slimy.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
would glow that green
Okay.
and that kind of neon, and the bottom
Uh-huh.
would glow like a pink.
Wow.
Yeah, it was delicious. We asked him what was in it. He said, "Don't worry, but if you have the stomach ache tomorrow, my bad." But
Oh, boy, way to
yeah,
I mean, I guess well, it's Mexico. I guess that's
yeah.
legal. I don't know.
He promised no headaches though. He's like, "You won't get a hangover. You will be drunk, but some people's stomach hurts." He said like it's like the ice. I'm assuming or something. I don't know.
Nothing to do with the glowing part, though.
Nah,
That's not it.
that's cool. That's
It's
kosher.
certainly the ice. Um, okay, I just looked up American alligator Mexico.
Yeah.
I don't know what words I put in, but that's what popped up. Um, it turns out alligators are not native to Mexico, but they are
Oh.
commonly American alligators that make their way from the Texas border south. So,
Oh.
I guess to Mexico,
Yo.
alligators are extremely American.
Straight up, yo. It was a thing, yo. Like you never know, yo. 'Cause I was asking, I was like, yo, why is it alligator? And they're like, because it's America. And I'm like, that's not an answer. And they were like, oh, the American alligator. And I was like, I feel like I don't know the alligator history. So I'm like, maybe they're only in America, but I feel like other people got alligators, no?
No, well, Mexico apparently does not.
They did not. They were unfamiliar until I was unfamiliar that we were known for that with this whole
That's
idea.
so funny.
Straight up. Like
That's
top 3 in the parade.
That's
Parade had like
great.
50 people, Sha. And the third most significant thing that they emphasized, alligator. Straight up. Statue of Liberty, Uncle Sam, alligator.
That's amazing.
Yo.
What a thing to discover.
Yo, I'm telling you, you got travel, baby.
Yeah, you gotta travel. You're right. You're absolutely right. You gotta get out there more because who knows how they talking about us. I had no idea. Yo, yeah, we gotta get. Hey, man, if you can travel, if you're
Real
an
talk.
American and you haven't gone anywhere like me, get somewhere because they sending alligators in our stead, and I don't know if that's who I want.
Get out of pocket. That's how you get branded now. You know, they probably think we got pet alligators everywhere.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Straight up, yo, alligators. Then we spent some time out in like the city, their mall area. My boy
What
figured
city
out
did you go to?
I was in Cancun,
Oh, okay.
but like I paid one of the drivers to take me into like a hood. I was like, yeah, I want to go because he like kind of like knew New York. So I was like, yo, like so like you heard of Crown Fried, and like I explained to him like Crown Fried chicken and like how like local pizza shops. I was like, I want to get the taco equivalent of that. Like I want to go to a regular place that would be open at 3 a.m. in Mexico in like a working class area. And he took me there. I was very excited. They very quickly realized I was not from there.
Yeah.
You know, I stood out quite a bit. Apparently my
Were you
clothes
tall?
is not. Yeah, I was tall. I wore a fitted hat and air pennies and that's not like part of the culture there.
No, because they're dressed for the heat.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
had
you were
shorts
not.
though.
Yeah, I know, but sometimes that's not enough.
Yeah, my shorts were very not short also. But yeah, no, like I stood out a lot in the area. You know how I knew I stood out, yo? So like we was going through the shopping area, and like when we were in an all-inclusive resort, so they would give you like these bands, for the time you're there, so that you get your stuff. But when you out in the town, the stores, they know you're you're from out of town because of it. So like my boy hit it. He put on a watch and he just looked like a native now. But like I'm a big dude, ultra New York dress, and I got this thing on. Everybody knew, oh, this dude is a tourist. Right. So like multiple tourists kept calling me basketball player names because of how tall I was. They're like, hey, yo, Kobe. Hey, yo, Kobe. Yo, I got a shirt for you, Kobe. Yo, Kobe, you ain't gonna buy nothing for the kids?
Oh, wow.
Straight up. The whole time I was there. Yo, Shaq. Yo, Big Daddy. I was like, hell yeah.
I mean.
She was awesome.
Was it?
I enjoyed it. I was like, yo, this is great. Like, I respect the salesmanship. It was a little aggressive. But I respected it. Also, another fun thing I enjoyed is at the like real local street market, where like the equivalent of like a New York Jamaica Ave, right? Where it's definitely not like it's a mixture of like local mom and pop kind of businesses and the bigger stores. There's still a perception that like weed is illegal in America, so every storefront that sold weed over there would try to like whisper it to me. They were like, hey, I got weed. And I was like, all right, that's what's up. Like, that's fantastic. But like they kept trying to like sell it to me on the side, and I'm like, hey, like we're that's not the situation here. I'm here for margaritas. You guys aren't famous for your weed. Like I appreciate it, but this isn't what you're known for. But B, like we could just talk openly about it now. Like there's nothing wrong. I'm not committing a crime, It was beautiful.
Mean, who's gonna honestly? They're not going to get that message until the American alligator tells them. So there's going to have to be a whole PR launch of the American alligator, just saying, "Hey, in part of the country, we just smoke it now. Don't be backwards, Follow me, American alligator, and move forward with us."
Oh man!
Don't worry, we're still backwards about a lot of stuff.
Sometimes some stuff we're going further backwards,
Yeah, further than we'd ever been before. But on the weed thing, we seem to be moving forward.
This message sponsored by Allie the Gator,
Man.
Yeah, I had a blast.
So
it was good times.
That's straight great.
Up. Yeah.
That's nice.
My boy got serenaded by like a Mexican mariachi band. For his birthday, like the second night we had like a group dinner, and his girlfriend set it up. This mariachi band comes on, and she booked them for an hour. And it was a blast, but like apparently this is like a thing. They play like a happy birthday song. Then they sang it in English and Spanish, cool. And then after that, they sang like a famous mariachi song or whatever. Admittedly, I don't even remember it now. I'm not a mariachi expert, but this is what led to the problem. After that song, they were like, any requests? And like, this is 15 American people that like, we were so stumped. Like, I don't know what mariachi songs you think we know, but the catalog is minimal. And so like we start recommending like American songs. They're like, nah, I don't know that. And then they're like, oh, you heard of this song? And we're like, nah, we don't know that. And we went back, like we spent like 10 of the 45 minutes just negotiating songs that we knew. And it was like a really sad playlist. We ended up doing Feliz Navidad. It's freaking July. Like it's just, it was the only song we knew that they knew that we also knew and could sing along to.
Right.
It was rough. We sang Happy Birthday 3 different ways.
Okay.
So that was a challenge.
Right.
We sang a Selena song that like only 3 of us knew, and then the last like 4 songs was basically like the dude singing love songs to Gabby, because Gabby was the only person that knew the songs. You know, so
that's
like
fantastic.
yeah, I was like, yo,
You
my
didn't
man,
even
like
throw him a La Bamba?
we covered La Bamba, La Macarena.
Oh wow.
Like it was rough. And like the thing is, like, you could tell that like it was a 4-man group. Like 2 of them were like real artists. Like, yo, this is my craft. And 2 of them were like hustlers that were good, but they were about their money. And like the 2 artist dudes would look at each other like, yo, I ain't go to school for this shit, B. I've been working on my craft for 30 years to sing these gringos La Bamba. You know what I mean?
It's all they know, man.
But it's all we know. We didn't know better.
Yeah.
Oh, another one we sang was La Cucaracha.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yo, we were trying, Sha.
I know. Look, I'm not saying I want to make sure that our troops and correspondents know I'm not throwing out La Bamba because I think they should have just known that off rip. I'm throwing it out there because it seems like the kind of song that if you're working in a resort where a lot of American alligators come through, you know you're going to have to fucking play that song at least 4 times a night.
Straight up.
Right? So, because I feel like I don't even know if, I'm not 100% sure La Bamba is like a Mexican song.
I didn't think most of them were. It's just that they were the only Spanish songs that they knew we would know. And they would play. So,
and that just strikes me as one of those where it's like, oh, I mean, I guess we can just play them La Bamba, right?
Straight up.
For some reason, they seem to know that one.
And then there was one that like they got pissed off, I could tell, because the only person that knew the words was like the 3rd best singer. And they're like, damn, we gotta let this dude sing now. You know what I mean? It was Despacito.
Oh wow!
Straight up, when it came to that, like the 2 older dudes was like, "This freaking out." They keep recommending it. I got to learn the words because now we gotta let this dude sing. Like he was tight that we had to like switch and let the 3rd stringer take over just because he knew the words. And you could show you knew he was a 3rd stringer. Like his vocals was not the same. The other 2 dudes were legit pro, but this guy was he was a guitarist that like hums, but he knew the words. So we got Despacito.
Man, maybe they just shouldn't ask for requests.
That's what I thought. I thought like, yo, you should have 20
you got
songs
a whole
on deck.
arsenal of stuff.
Yeah.
Play us. I mean, we're here. Why would I go all the way to Mexico and then ask you to play me, you know, the Macarena? Like, give me a break. Even though I'm on a resort, like, give me something real.
I asked for MOP. I asked for...
Yeah, no, you're the worst person to ask
I like you.
This. Like, you've got nothing. There's at no point were they going to break in the ante up. Like, that's not...
I tried.
I'm sure you did, but I bet even if whatever you named, I bet if there was one guy who was there who's like, I handle all of the rap requests, I bet whatever you named, he'd be like, yo, bruh, it is not 97. Like, why are you naming these old ass songs?
Because I love them to my core, okay? They were there for my formative years, okay?
Oh, man, here we go. Another Raucous Records backpacker coming through here. Want me to do album cuts.
I love the idea that so many raucous backpackers have been to Mexico that they're annoyed by.
And they're demanding that you do something by Talib Kweli and High Tech.
You don't know Shabam Sadiq?
Yeah.
Come on, baby. Bahamadia cuts. Come on, baby.
Come on. Pull out. Where's the Bahama? I know that one of you got to know Bahamadia, right? That's so funny.
Oh, man. But yeah, we had a good time. It was dope. Just really, really hot. Definitely a place that I would never go to for my own enjoyment.
Right.
But with like the crew, it was a blast. You know what I mean? We had a good time, relaxed. Definitely enjoyed the Central AC a lot and looking out at my friends. Mm-hmm. And the dinners was cool. We had some good food out in the town. And yeah, but I'm glad to be home. I'm glad I could say I did that so that I don't have to like go again. Yeah.
I don't know if that's the best way to
I
put
don't-
that, but I get it. I understand.
Yeah, like I'm happy I went. Like I'm glad I experienced it. I'm glad that everyone and myself had a good time as a unit. And I'm glad that Gabby could say that we went.
Right.
Cause like me and her going, I think would have been a challenge. I gotta say, like I'm appreciative of that. Like there was like days like I gotta recharge, but I can't do this right now. And like she could like go do like a sauna day with like one of the homegirls or something. I'm like, yeah, it's perfect.
Right.
Go do that. Like me, her, and the kids, that might have like ended our marriage. Like a week of that, nah, B. That none of that like jobs with me at all. Like I just couldn't do it. But I'm glad to be in New York. Central AC working. Very high hits still right now, though. Not thrilled with that. But at least I know it's going to end.
All you missed were storms, and now the storms are gone, and you're just getting pure heat, baby. 90-degree heat just beating down on your skull is what you're getting right now.
Not a fan.
Yeah. It's not great. It's not great. I mean, it's fine. The humidity, some of the humidity's gone, so it's not as humid, so it doesn't feel like a hot ass stew. Now it's more of a hot ass broth. It's more broth than stew. It's still hot though. We still on the burner. Still on the burner. That burner's on medium high.
One thing I will say is we went there. It was 15 people total, but we flew out different times, different days, whatever. The day I left, some of our friends from New York came with us. Same flight, and then same flight back. We just happened to like work out for both sets of families. On the way back, I checked on the airline. They happened to have the upgrade available for a decent price. So me and Gabby did the upgrade. We did the Delta Plus Comfort. I told them about it, but they ain't do it.
Right.
I don't think that's messed up, right? Like I feel like once you give them the heads up, it's cool.
Yeah, no. You gave them the information and you left it up to them. And you said, hey, we're going to do this. We're paying this to do so.
Yeah.
Here's the information in case you want to do the same.
Right. Okay, cool. I felt fine about it. But like, I know Gabby was a little hesitant. She's like, I don't want to like feel like I'm dissing them because I know they're going to stay in the back.
No, you gave them the information. As long as if it's not like you get there and you're suddenly upgraded. Right. Thing. And also you bought your tickets separately, right?
Yeah.
Like you and Gabby bought yours and then that couple bought theirs.
Yeah.
I mean, what happens. Y'all are on the same plane together. That's great. But y'all can't just be on the couch together. It's not gonna what happens.
Yo, I felt fine about it, but like apparently like so Gabby said I was polite about it the day before when I told them. I was polite about it on the way to the airport, and at the airport I was less polite on the plane. She said that I enjoyed too much rum and coke. And
yeah, okay, that shows that she doesn't listen to the podcast because we already know that you are a menace on planes, especially if you have some sort of upgrade where you get to drink. We all know this.
Listen,
I gotta send her a message and go, hey, your husband is a lot on a plane.
Listen, I thought I don't know, I felt empowered.
No, why? Why do you need to feel empowered?
Because like, so you gotta understand what I accomplished, right? We initially were in like row 35 of the plane. Our friends were in row 32. We moved up to row like 9.
Okay.
Right? And 3 hours into the flight, I'm 2 rum and cokes in, and when I say 2, I mean 4 rums, but 2 cups. Each cup had soda, but 2 of the little rum glasses. So I'm 4 servings in of rum.
Okay.
All right. And the first time I stand up is to use the bathroom. Right. Gabby got to use the bathroom. I let her go, and I'm standing there. And I'm like, I should go pee too. The first class bathroom was full, so I had to go
to the back
one. So I had to walk past them. Now, you talking about like 26 rows I got to pass.
Right.
With 4 servings of alcohol. Right. I've never been more proud of myself than what I was making it down that airplane and not falling shot. Like, I was so cocky, yo. When I got to the end, like, I didn't know it was going to be hard at first, admittedly. Like, at first, I was like, oh, it's just walking to the bathroom. Done this my whole life. You know, I took a couple steps and I realized, oh, this is going to be an adventure. You know, my knees wasn't quite with me, you know.
Right.
And I could tell right away, this is going to be different. I hit a couple heads on the way there. Did a lot of apologizing.
That's going to happen anyway because you're large and those are tiny aisles.
Yeah. I was like, yo, this is the cost of doing business. Y'all see me coming. You knew this was going to be a thing. Okay?
Yep. If you're on the aisle, you know you got to move your head.
Yeah. Dude, I'm a
you
big
can't
dude.
Be mad.
I did the courtesy thing where, like, I turned to my side, but I'm a big dude, so, like, my side is the same as the front. Okay?
Right,
like,
yes.
That's not changing anything.
You're a literal refrigerator going down.
Real talk. I'm a straight up box, my G, like same dimensions. Okay. All right. Like, I'm doing it for you to know, so you know I'm trying. But like, realistically, this is the same shit. You still gonna get hit. Okay. So I'm like, I'm going down this aisle and like, I want to say I hit like 3 rows, six people worth of rows. Before like I finally started walking in the right way, where like I went like 20 rows without touching a seat. It was amazing, like magical, shot. I was cross-stepping, somebody's bag fell a little bit into the aisle, didn't affect me. And like whenever I needed to reach for balance, I was able to reach up and balance myself against like the little containers for the luggage. No head contact. I felt so proud. I got to the end. And like when I got there, I looked at the lady that like helps on the plane.
The flight attendant?
The flight attendant lady. Yeah. Yes. I looked at her, I was like, yo, that was crazy.
The sky nurse?
I got to her and I was like, yo, that was crazy. And like my boy heard me, he's like, yo, like you were really talking smack about just walking down the aisle. So yeah, I go and take my piss. I come out and I was like, yo, listen, I don't know if y'all saw what I just did getting back here. It was incredible, but I'm about to do it again. You know, if you want to watch, it's a thing. And I told, I'm saying this to the lady, like, you know, half like being silly because there was a lot of people in the line, but also sincerely, I'm proud of myself. This was a long ass walk and I was a little drunk. And when I get to the row where my friends are at, they're like, yo, I think you're a little sauced right now. I was like, I hear you, you know, but those are the perks of being up front, baby. You know what I mean?
No. You're an absolute menace.
Magic up here, yo. But I didn't think that was like, I didn't say it like,
you can't be a good judge on how you said it.
That's fair. Because that's fair. Okay.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Because you're in it.
Yeah, I will say that what my intention wasn't, ha, you ain't in front. It was more so the front is magic. But I agree. I could understand how it could have been interpreted another way and that I could have said it differently than I intended.
Right.
You know?
Okay. Who are you talking smack to about walking down the aisle before you got to the bathroom?
Oh, I was talking as soon as I got to the back and before I left again to go front, I was talking shit to the flight attendant because I was proud of my work, you know? Because they do it all the time and they think nobody else could do it, you know? But I nailed that shit, you know?
Okay, so all right, so I just want to make sure I have the complete picture.
Yeah.
You stood up and then all the alcohol hit your feet.
100%.
So the first few steps, first few rows, they got a little extra Gastor than they planned.
Yeah.
But then you hit a rhythm and you started to get down there. So now you say something to the sky nurse about it, but you say it before you even get to the bathroom. So you're already talking shit about making it down the aisle a couple of rows before you get to your destination.
I mean, the legends
So
point.
everybody hears. So everyone here now hears that you are a little tipsy, on your way to the bathroom, proud of what you've just done, which to them is just you just walk down the aisle.
Listen, Babe Ruth calls the shots. So do I. Okay.
Okay. How did the flight attendant take it when you were talking to her?
I want to say she laughed. I feel confident that she laughed, but I also don't know if it was like, that's funny or like, look at this dude. Now, like, and I could say that now looking back on it.
Okay.
At the time, I thought she was like, yo, this dude is so charming, you know?
Okay. All right. And then you use the restroom and then you come out and then you talk more shit about walking back.
Yep. Like, I was like, yo, watch the show.
Your friend says you're a little lit and you're like, yeah, that's because I'm up front where they got the liquor, baby.
Hell yeah.
And then you walk to the front. Yeah. You are an absolute menace. I'm not, if we got to go somewhere, different flights. I don't know you. I don't know you till we get to the destination. You're insane. You're insane.
Yo, I was just reminding them, hey, listen, you can make other decisions going forward. That's all.
No. You know? Oh my gosh. How are your friends still friends with you?
Because before I left, after saying that, I knew it was like borderline. Like, I know, like, I got friends that like I could needle, and I feel like one of them I could needle, the other one I can't. So I was like, let me like balance this, because they're like here as a couple. So I did like some like silly shit with the baby. They got like a daughter, you know. So I was like, all right, let me be cute with the kid. I figured that'll like, balance out whatever assholeness I was right now.
Right.
You know, so I think I do that well. Like, I'm kid friendly. Babies fuck with me a lot, you know.
So they had a baby with them?
Yeah, they were the only crew that brought like a kid. They brought like a 2-year-old.
So they already feel bad.
Yeah.
Because they had to deal with a child while everybody else was probably more drunk than they were.
Overall, maybe, yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, because one of them had to be somewhat on alert because there was a kid around him. Oh, man, that's the worst couple to be fucking flaunting being drunk. They just went through a whole week of that shit.
But I was giving them hope. I was like, listen, this was us.
What hope? What hope?
We were the couple with the baby for the majority of the crew's adult life. Now I'm like, yo, there's another side. You almost there, you know?
They just have to break through.
You just got to break through. You 7 to 9 years away, depending on your kid's maturity. Well,
I would suggest that maybe you don't have to give them hope. Time will happen, and they will see. But I feel like you may not have to keep reminding them of what's on the other side.
That's fair.
They know they'll be able to move through it. But the idea of their too large friend yelling like, "Yeah, once that baby grows." You can get like me is probably not what they need right now. It's probably not what they need right now. But I mean, as long as you're able to cover your tracks on that.
I got a brand, okay? I know.
Yeah, you do have a brand. I mean, they know you more than I do.
Listen,
I would just say you're a fucking menace from the seat is what I would say.
And I would make that a t-shirt for the next flight. I would love that. Hell yeah. Fucking menace. Comfort Plus. Come see me.
Right. What do I know? I would have on headphones and I wouldn't even act like I knew you.
You know, a lot more people did that this flight in Comfort Plus than last time, but yeah.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah. Let's get into the news. Kicking off, an Atlanta man attempts to rob a nail salon but gets ignored by everybody. Hell yeah, kind of like me on that flight. A man attempts to rob an Atlanta nail salon last week, and it didn't go as planned after the patrons basically ignored him. The unidentified suspect, with his hand in a bag as if he were holding a weapon, stormed into Nail First Salon. And although the man shouted, "Everybody get down, give me all of your money," surveillance video shows he was ignored by both the customers and the employees. The salon owner even decided it was okay to answer the phone. during the attempted robbery while a customer casually stood up to go outside, though the suspect snatched her phone as she walked outside. Eventually, the humiliation appeared to be too much for the suspect, who left the salon in a silver-colored sedan. Lisa Barrow, a regular customer who was in the salon at the time of the attempted robbery, told the news that the owner was indeed scared of the would-be robber, but he didn't react because he didn't want his customers to worry. They come first. So that was his reaction, to calm everybody down, keep everybody relaxed. The suspect was still on the loose as of Monday.
Oh boy. Look, I don't know, man. Maybe it's just not for you. Maybe this just isn't your. There have been, okay, just from this story, I've seen a couple of things. I saw a clip, it may have been a TikTok, of someone in either I don't think it was an Apple store. It may have been like a T-Mobile or Verizon store or something like that. But
Okay.
they may have been trying to take an Apple product. And, you know, it's a phone store. So all the phones are like strapped down heavy.
Yeah.
Right. Like the strongest magnets with a whole like chain and then razor wire and all of that, you know, like, so this guy's trying to pull one off. He's got, what do you call that? A shiesty or something, maybe? A whole full mask on with just the eyes open.
Yeah.
And he's trying to yank the thing off. Nobody is running at him. Someone's calmly taping them. The employees are behind the counter and they're all just like, hey, man, just let it go. Like, you're not going to get it. Hey, man. Hey, you're not going to get it. Just let this one go. And he's still trying. The thing is, alarms are beeping. And they're just like, hey, just let it, like, you're not going to get this one. Just let it go. And you hear one of the employees just like, I mean, it's strapped down real well. Like, and he's still just yanking on it. And I saw this like a day after I saw this news story. And I was just like, yo, this is a rough time for thieves. Like, you really need to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just not for you. You know, certainly you early on, you had a set or two where you were like, maybe comedy isn't for me. Or you've done some, you know, I've certainly done a few things where I'm like, oh, this isn't what I'm cut out for.
Yo, Sha, you think criminals have therapists?
I mean, if they steal enough money, sure. What kind of criminals? Like petty theft?
Yeah, like if you're like a pickpocket, you think you got like do you see like a sports therapist, like to stay in the zone? You know?
Honestly, if you're a pickpocket, yes, because I feel like pickpockets are, well, okay, here's the thing with pickpockets. That's such a gentlemanly way of stealing now.
Yeah.
That the ones who are in jail or even have finally gotten out of jail and they're older, they're just like, it's not the same. You can't just go into a purse or take a wallet out of someone's back pocket and then have all of that. It's just not the same. So I wouldn't doubt that there are support groups. I bet there's a support group for it.
PPA, I like that, yo. Pickpockets Anonymous.
You know, but I also think there's also another clip of a woman who caught these two girls who were pickpocketing and ran up on them and was filming them like, you guys are pickpocketing. I don't know, it's in French. She's yelling at it in either French or Italian. And they try to cover their face and they're running away, but they're two young women. So maybe it's making a comeback. But I also feel like maybe they may actually already have therapy, but they're just not talking about the pickpocketing. You know what I mean? It feels like it's such a niche thing, pickpockets.
I like that. Like it's like the hipster thing to do. You know, like, you know, people buy like those
a
like
little bit.
film
It's
cameras.
It's a little bit like those bartenders who call themselves mixologists.
Yeah.
And have weird mustaches and wear vests. And they, you know, they burn like weird little pieces of wood and then put the essence in your drink and all that kind of shit. That's what pickpocketing feels like to me right now.
not a thief. I'm a pickpocket. Okay. Get it
Yeah,
right.
right. But like to go in and to demand money by yourself, first of all, that's no good. With no gun, that's no good. Like we are tired, and we kind of not in the mood to like just nah, bruh. If we don't believe you, it's honestly it is a lot like doing comedy. If we don't believe your premise, we're not going to stick around for your punchline.
It's also like I feel like part of like robbing people is they need to be in a place where they need to be able to get up. When you go to a nail salon, like I took off my shoes, like I'm soaking. Like, yo, even if I wanted to be like scared, like, listen, my whole body is like in a midway through a treatment here, you know, like.
Yeah, which I guess I could see if you're just like, I'm just going to grab purses and everything, but also know where you're going. You're going to a nail salon. There are chemicals in there that you don't know. You don't know.
Yeah.
All it takes is one person to just be quietly working on someone's foot and you walk by and they pick up a canister or something, throw that shit in your face, you're done for.
Forever.
You're done for.
Branded.
They got
you know what I mean?
Acids and things that remove the acids. Get out of here.
They have more weapons than you, my G.
They absolutely do. Know where you're going. Really case a joint. Don't just think, they got money for nails. They got money for me. Don't be too sure. They also got like nail polish remover for you.
Oh, man. In other news, a llama was dressed as a groomsman to be a guest at the wedding. That's right. Many animal-loving couples include their dogs and cats in their wedding ceremonies, but a New York duo had a well-dressed llama hoof it down the aisle. The llama farm was recently contacted. Llama Adventures at Buffalo Creek's Llamas was recently contacted by a mother of a bride looking to make her daughter's animal dream come true. Tara was the bride-to-be, wants to own a llama farm one day. So Tara's mother thought it would be fun to surprise her daughter, her son-in-law Adam, and the entire wedding party with the llama groomsmen on the big day. The bride's mother arranged for a woolly, well-mannered llama named Jay to appear at the wedding, where he was a huge hit with the newlyweds and the guests. In pictures from the event shared on the farm's Facebook page, delighted guests posed with Jay, who wears a dapper tuxedo, complete with the pink striped bow tie and white gloves. The getup was designed to make it look like the llama was standing on 2 feet, while the other feet like the other wedding goers.
Okay. The first thing I thought of, also, let me just say thank you to all the people who sent me this article. You ain't wrong. Yes. This tickled me.
Yo, the people that sent it to me, like 3 of the 4 of them said, yo, this is for shot. Like,
you are not incorrect.
Oh, that's great.
I mean, because the tuxedo on this llama really does look like it's just a little man standing there with little hands like crossed and a nice little llama grin. And it's just hanging, I guess, on the front of the llama. So the rest of the llama is still free to be llama. But the first thing I thought was, oh, wow, that little girl from Sesame Street was serious about her llama. Now,
what?
If you don't know what I'm talking about, you've just hit upon something I will talk about ad nauseum. In like the early days of Sesame Street, right? They had lots of clips of kids doing things like in the real world. And because it was the 70s, when the first decade of it, in New York, kids were just roaming free. I don't know if people really understand what it was like just to be a kid kind of in those days. Now when everyone has eyes on their children and children don't really, people want to shut down places where teenagers are hanging out because they're like, there are teenagers. And I'm like, but that's what they do. Like, but just being a kid, you just walk to places, blah, blah, blah. So, there's a lot of clips of kids doing things. And the clips grew as, Sesame Street became more and more popular. So there are clips of kids in all different parts of the country doing whatever. But one of their, I think, most popular clips, and by far, I think maybe my favorite thing on Sesame Street, was a young woman, a little girl, not a toddler, but like, I don't know, 9, maybe like an 8, 9-year-old, taking her pet llama to the dentist.
What?
Yes. So she is walking her llama down the streets of New York where they go to, I guess, like an animal dentist in like one of those offices that's the bottom of like a brownstone building. There's a cellar. And so she's walking with her llama. They go into the dentist's office. The dentist comes out, hey, Jenny, and here's your whatever, and then cleans the llama's teeth. And then, she walks the llama away into the world with fresh teeth. Now that alone is enough of like, what's happening in New York? You know what I mean? Like what? But they really wanted to make sure that you remember seeing this young girl taking a llama to the dentist. So someone wrote the best song that's just me and my llama, we're going to the dentist today. I swear to you, I want this played at my memorial service. We're going to the dentist, ooh-wee. Yes, it's just my llama and me. Come on. Bars.
Yo.
I will sing that at the drop of a hat. You don't even need a hat. I love it so much.
Yo, if you hesitated even a little bit, I was like, there's no way this story's real. But no.
It's absolutely real.
This is wild.
I'm sending you
at the dentist.
I'm sending you the link right now. And there are people right now who are like, oh, she about to talk about that little girl in the llama going to the dentist. Because they know exactly what I'm talking about. Yo,
New York was different, yo. Real talk.
New York was real different.
Real talk.
And I feel like, I was a kid at the time in New York in the 70s. And I was just like, I wonder where. I mean, I guess, yeah, you take your llama. Because that's all I knew was just the streets of New York. So I don't know farms. I don't know. A little bit, but not enough. So I'm like, yeah, I mean, if you have a llama, you got to take it to the dentist. My mother was a dental assistant. It all made sense to me. Yes, you got to take your llama to the dentist.
Yo, the fact that's how you know, like, we got a population issue here in this city, okay? Like, there's too many different people living here, okay? When you...
But I wonder about that girl. But I mean, like, this woman in this story, she's too young. That llama girl, she's got to be like my age.
Yo.
Right?
She might be related. Like, this is someone that might have, like family.
If maybe that's the mom. Maybe the mom's like, I know a guy. And she didn't just call up the farm. She called up the llama and was like, hey, it's Jenny.
Yo, Jay,
Can you get one of your sons down here? My daughter is getting married.
You know I'll hook you up with those teeth. Come on.
Yeah, come on now.
Yo.
This is the least you could do.
You know why this is so New York to me? Is because just the idea that somebody had a llama plug is so like... Yo.
When I got older and watched it, I was like, how do you even know where... When you just look through the phone book for just like llama care, how do you even know?
Yo, how many llamas were in New York that this guy was like, yo, I just start my own practice. You know what I mean? I gotta specialize.
Maybe if I just have one location, they can all come to me.
Yeah,
all the city llamas, instead of them having to get on the train and riding out to upstate. I'll come down to them.
I keep referring this out to Long Island. I'm losing out. Oh my God, this is awesome.
Yeah, I put the link in our chat, but I will make sure we got to make sure to post some of that video
100%.
so that people know what I'm talking about.
Llamas, yo, that's real.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I didn't even have to search. When I tell you I just went to YouTube and favorites and that bitch was right there. You looking for me? This llama just slid in. Hey, I'm right here.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Sha knew one day War Report will get here. You know?
Oh yeah, no, I don't have to stress it. At some point, if I'm involved, at some point we talk about the little girl taking the llama to the dentist. No matter what the project is, at some point we get into the llama girl.
That's the through line. That's Shalewa's North Star right there. Oh, that's awesome. In other news, Subway is adding deli slicers to give customers freshly sliced meat in store for the first time today. This is news today. Like, this is now news. That's right.
Yeah.
Subway is installing deli meat slicers in 20,000 of its U.S. locations to give customers freshly cut meat. An endeavor.
Hold on. Can we just stop and marinate in the fact that there are 20,000 Subway sandwich shops?
Yo, in America only, too.
In America only.
Yo, big time numbers right there. Previously, Subway meats were delivered to its stores and served pre-slice. The announcement is the latest in Subway's chain-wide turnaround effort after spending most of the 2010s experiencing low sales and a worsening reputation. The so-called Eat Fresh Refresh, which is yeah, respect the rhymes, okay.
Okay.
Which also included a reboot of the chain's entire menu, has resulted in its 9th consecutive quarter of positive sales. Over the past 2 years, we've overhauled our expansive pantry of ingredients and debuted a whole new way to Subway with chef-crafted signature sandwiches. This year's changes are even bigger and more transformational. Subway remains the largest quick-serve restaurant franchisor in the U.S. by number of locations, but it said this year that it began exploring a sale. So yeah, bang.
Okay. Here's what I love. The brand said it spent more than $80 million on the deli meat slicers and gifted them to all of their franchisee restaurants.
Aww.
That's sweet that the franchisors didn't have to buy their own slicer. That's wild.
Word.
Look. Oh, wow.
We finally get to get something for free. That's beautiful.
Look, that's great. I'm glad that they are now slicing the meat there.
Right.
They're normally, if I get a sandwich, it's like a turkey sandwich. And I'm reluctant to do that at Subway for many years because one, their whatever turkey it is that they had that was pre-sliced, terrible. It was terrible turkey. It was like fused turkey cut in a perfect circle. I hate that shit. That was one reason why I was reluctant to go to Subway. 2, because they used to cut with a little weird triangle thing on the top, just a tiny 1/8 of the bread up, and then they shove the stuff, place the stuff on top, and then put that little boop on top. And I'm like, that's not even slice the bread all the way through the middle. What are we fucking doing here? And 3, there were always cold sandwiches, and I like a toasted sandwich.
Yeah.
So they've since started I always like the bread. I enjoy eating yoga mat. I don't give a fuck. So they've since started slicing the bread through the middle. Somebody read a comment card somewhere. So they slice the bread through the middle and they have toast. Because I remember one time I went, Subway is one of those things where if you're in a city and you don't know anything about the city and you're just near your hotel room and you're like, I have to eat something. For some reason, there's a Subway there and they're usually open late. And so I remember going in and the person asked if I wanted it toasted. And I was like, y'all do that? I didn't think you had any heating elements in here. And they did, and they toasted it. And I was like, oh, okay, so Quiznos was on y'all's ass, huh? Because I love the Quiznos. All those sandwiches were toasted. Loved them.
Game changer.
So this is great that now they're going to be slicing me. Will this make me go to Subway? No.
Nah. Yeah, like this is a big deal, I would assume, everywhere but New York, right? Like New York is such a deli corner store thing. Like,
yeah, y'all keep eating sandwiches from fucking corner stores, which I can't do.
We got slices though.
Yeah.
You can't do a sandwich from the corner store, Sha?
No, I can't. Every time I try, I get sick.
What?
Every time I try, I get sick. I can't do it. It's wild.
Whoa.
My body's just like, we're not doing it. I'm like, but we've done it from Publix. And they're like, yeah, that's going to be the only place. You're only doing it from Publix.
So
You're only doing. Also, part of me feels bad because I don't like a lot of stuff on a sandwich. So I don't want to have the conversation with someone of just like, nope, I don't want that. No, I don't want that either. Nope. You know, there are 10 things. They're like, you don't want this? What about this? You don't want this? What about this? Are you sure you don't want this? I don't want to have that conversation.
So what, you've never had like Sausalito turkey?
Wait, so what is Sausalito turkey?
It's one of the turkeys that Boar's Head offers. It's like
you can just go to a grocery store, and if they have that kind of turkey, you can get a couple of pounds of. You can get them to, like if they have a deli section in a larger like grocery store.
Yeah.
And just have them slice some of that off, and then I'll go home and make my sandwich.
Okay.
So it's not. That's the other thing is like the meat. I can buy the meat from somewhere. Then I can just go home and make my own sandwich with the meat.
Okay. I was concerned for you, like for real. Like, yo, you deserve Sausalito.
There are some like Boar's Head like meats, versions of turkey that I've tried where I'm like, yeah, I'll get some of that, or get me half a pound of like roast beef or some shit like that. Yeah, I mean, I can still do that, but I can't if they just make the sandwich in the store for whatever reason. My stomach's like, nah.
Yo, real talk, like, as your friend, that genuinely, like, worried me for a second there. Like, yo, hold up. Sha just doesn't get to enjoy, like, Boar's Head cold cuts. That's so sad.
Oh, yeah. No. I like a cold cut. I just can't, for some reason, in the corner store sandwich, man. And I've tried numerous times. And the next day, I'm just like, oh, okay.
Low key,
thanks for reminding me.
That might be the biggest cross you bear. Like, real talk, yo. I'm like so
it
concerned.
Might be.
Real talk. And New York, and you can't get corner store sandwiches.
I know. Yeah.
Yo.
That is wild. If it's because people talk about it all just, I got my sandwich from the deli and the sandwich and the sandwich and I get to chop this and I'm just like, oh, I mean, good luck with that.
Oh my goodness.
That's why I'm heavy on the snacks. That's how I judge a corner store, by their snack selection.
Wow. You gotta make sure you talk to people, man. Check in on your friends. Like, real talk. You don't know the struggles they dealing with, yo.
I don't know if it's a struggle. It's just different. That's all. It's just a little different.
In other news, Sarah Silverman is suing OpenAI and Meta, alleging copyright infringement. Comedian
Love
Sarah,
it.
Yo, I'm about this. Comedian Sarah Silverman and 2 authors are suing Meta and Chat GPT maker OpenAI, alleging the company's AI language models were trained on copyrighted materials from their books without their knowledge or consent. The pair of lawsuits against OpenAI and Facebook parent Meta were filed in San Francisco federal court. The new crop of AI tools has gained tremendous attention in recent months for their ability to generate written work and images in response to user prompts. But this practice has raised some large concerns that these models may be sweeping copyrighted works without permission, and that these works could ultimately be served to train tools that upend the livelihoods of these creatives. Bang.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about all of this.
Of course.
Yeah, like I felt when I was thinking of this, like I felt like this should be the equivalent of like getting publishing. Like if you write something and you are okay with Chat GPT and other AI tools using it for to generate material, you should get paid a publishing fee for having your material be part of that pool. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
my 2 albums and my book is part of the AI pool of products. Roughly this many people used it in these type of things. I get this much money. Like, even if it's shitty money, like Spotify me at least. Like, pay me like the streaming dollars that, like, musicians get when like a song plays. It ain't a lot, but at least acknowledge that the work I'm doing has value because you're using it.
But I mean, part of the reason I feel like people are really pushing the idea of AI anyway is to avoid having to pay anyone for anything.
Word.
I don't know. It feels a little, and I'm saying that as we're in the middle of very strikes, and we're seeing what's happening with the Writers Guild strike, and the who they're bargaining with. They're just like, well, we're gonna wait this out. We're gonna wait for them to lose their houses and apartments. And it's like, wow, all this because y'all don't feel like cutting a little bit more of a check. And it's wild because I'm like, where do you think you're going to get that from?
Yeah.
How do you think any of that's going to generate? And it just feels like someone always has to be screwed, and that's not the case. And I'm glad that these are going forward, and I wonder how much more. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, okay, I've got clips of myself telling jokes online. Is that shit being scraped? Will that end up in someone's results?
Right.
Like I don't know. I'm not big on the AI. I'm sorry, everybody.
Yeah,
I don't like the pictures, and I don't like the words it comes up with.
Allen Iverson is my only AI. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. All
this
for the answer. This is not the answer.
Finally, you can't fake it. Former NYC Mayor de Blasio and wife announced separation, but not divorce. That's right. Former New York Mayor Bill de Blasio and his wife, Shirlane McRae, are separating but not divorcing after 29 years of marriage that helped lift de Blasio into the mayor's job. McRae, 68, confirmed the separation in a text, but in the text with the Associated Press. A short time later, former First Lady Shirlane McRae spoke with the news. Big change for us, but Bill and I are still very much in love. Outside the Park Slope home she shares with the former mayor, McRae confirms she and Bill de Blasio are separating, but still going to live here and date other people. She tells the news that they came to this decision together and thinks it's the right decision for us to start this new chapter in our life. De Blasio and McRae arrived together at the realization that the spark had gone out of their relationship. You can't fake it, McRae said. You can feel when things are off, and you don't want to live that way. McRae said the pair spoke to the Times in an effort to head off the gossip. As very public people embarking on a new chapter, we thought it would better to say all this openly before anyone tries to find negativity or before any misunderstandings occur.
So, all right. Well, I read that New York Times article, like when it dropped.
Yeah.
And what I think the thing that a few things tickled me about it. One, they explain, like they open up with them explaining that, they're having a normal Saturday night at home. And at some point, de Blasio turns to McRae and says, "Hey, how come you're not lovey-dovey anymore?" And from there, they have a big discussion about their relationship and whatnot. And they decide that it's best to separate. They'll still live in the house, but they'll separate and then just see other people. And I really liked, in my brain, I just really laughed at the idea of them coming up with that decision, which must have been kind of heart-wrenching, and having this long discussion and then sitting there and it's 2 a.m. and, their glasses of wine are all sweaty from condensation, and they're just sitting there and they're quiet after they've made this decision. And then one of them looks up and goes, "All right, so I'll contact the New York Times in the morning." Like what? Well, I'll call the time, you call the kids, and we'll just let everyone know. And so I guess the other things that tickled me were the idea that they had to, let's go ahead and get this out now so we can download these apps. Let's get
Word.
on these apps. So someone isn't swiping going, is that former Mayor Bill de Blasio? Like, well, I'll give him a shot. He's like 5'6" or whatever. You know what I mean? So now he's going to be out here and fucking, I don't know, business casual, and his sexiest business casual out here on these apps.
A lot of khakis, baby.
Looking for whatever it is he's looking for. Which honestly, like, if he likes older Black women who are maybe not that into him, I may need to give him a call.
If you would like.
But also, let me also say that Shalane, before this, was a lesbian and like spoke about it loudly, and wrote an article about being a lesbian. So I think she's gonna be all right.
Nah, she gonna do numbers. She good.
Yeah, she gonna do numbers either way. But you know, Bill,
I
don't know. Holla at a player, I guess.
If you would like to connect Sha and Bill together.
Oh boy.
All you gotta do is like, subscribe to the show.
Think that through.
I promise you the beginning of these shows will be very, very entertaining going forward. Okay? If they have not been before.
So I'm out with Bill the other night.
You are an Apple and Spotify listener. We appreciate your ratings. 4 stars, you a hater. You don't see the magic of a Sean Bill partnership, okay? That relationship will go so far, okay? 5 stars, you believe, okay? That Shaw's ability to ignore him will only ignite his fire, okay? And they'll be in love forever, okay? You have any articles you want us to cover, please DM us directly on Twitter and Instagram at Silky Jumbo or at Gastor Almonte. Shout outs this week to Philip Barnett, Winnie Locke, Iron Fist Mom, FCBLJ, and Lori McDaniel. With all that said, I am the soon to be excited to get invited to the Bill household, Gastor Almonte. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm just going to start throwing comedy shows there.
With the newly named Shalewa Sharpe dash de Blasio, Shalewa Sharpe.
No. I ain't taking that last name.
Please don't. That
I ain't taking
terrible.
nothing from that man.
Real talk. No alliteration, no nothing. No. Name does nothing for you. You know what I mean?
No, there's not at all.
Would the 3 of y'all live together? Right? I think that's how it sounds.
I mean, they're in the house together. I'm not moving in with them unless they have like a free apartment or something that doesn't belong to the kids.
Yo, if there was ever a sign that like real estate in New York is out of control,
it's terrible.
Yo, you the former mayor of this city, and you like, nah, baby,
you gotta live it.
I know we breaking up after 29 years, but like, yo, let's be reasonable here. Like, we can work. I can still live with you. Yo, that's how wild it is getting a roommate right now to New York.
Oh, yo. Man.
This has probably been the first time I'm empathetic towards Bill. Episode of the War Report. Catch y'all next time. Peace.